What's up, guys? We're back at it, and today I wanted to talk to you about the pros and cons of remote work. I always hear, John, you're so lucky you get to work from home. Must be nice. And honestly, it is pretty nice, but it's not perfect. Some things are like, it's great, and then other things kind of suck. So, I'm going to break it down for you. I'll start with the good stuff, the pros. So number one is going to be no commute to work. My last retail job was 35 minutes to and from home. And one of the other store managers was actually assigned to Nogales, Arizona, which is a 1-hour commute from Tucson. With the price of gas in this economy, I'm happy to stay home. I used to end up filling up my tank about 3 times a month, so I'm definitely happy to cut that out and put that cash back in my bank account. Number two is going to be home-cooked meals. So for years, I've worked in plazas that's had fast food restaurants right next to my store. At one location, we had a McDonald's right in front of our store. So, breakfast, lunch, run over, hit the dollar menu, and you're set to go. Then at another store, we had a Dunkin' Donuts, a Taco Bell. And then at the last retail store I worked at, we had Krispy Kreme, Chipotle, Taco Bell, all the fast food you could think of. And there was other options there too. But I found myself spending about $15 to $20 a day just on junk. And now that I work from home, that same $15 to $20 that I was spending on a meal, I'm able to make food for the entire week. I remember I went to McDonald's a couple weeks ago and I got like a double cheeseburger, I got a large fry, and I got a drink. It came out to like $12.99, $11.99. I'm like, really? For just this? And when I did my shopping for the month at Sam's Club, I was able to get a large pack of hamburgers for the month. I got a 2-pack of bread. I was able to get some condiments, got some cheese. The whole thing was like $25. And that's going to last at least 2 to 3 weeks versus one meal. If you're able to work remotely and, you're good at cooking, or, even if you're not good at cooking, hit up YouTube. And you're definitely going to be able to save yourself a ton of money in that respect. Also, you guys know I love my coffee, so I was hitting Starbucks about every single day. That's another extra $5 when you could just make it at home. It just makes more sense. Nowadays, I'm getting up every day at 5 a.m. And I did that before, but now I'm actually in the kitchen cooking. I get the sauces going, get some eggs on, maybe cook a little grits on the side. It's some good eating. And then number 3 is going to be the safety element. So working from home, we're worried about people trying to hack into people's computers or steal data. But working in retail, people were pulling out knives and weapons. And after the pandemic, those people just felt invincible. They're wearing masks and they felt untouchable. And it really sucked. Another great thing is you don't have to constantly check your car either. Over the years that I worked in retail, on 4 different occasions, I saw people's cars get stolen in broad daylight. They would be shopping, they were in my store, and then they would come back and they'd be like, hey, I can't find my car. I think someone stole it. I'm like, what? Nobody stole your car in the middle of the day. Somebody stole their car in the middle of the day. I would check the camera. Next thing you know, someone pulled up, they had a partner, they got into the car, and then they drive off with it. And it's pretty crazy. But that's not something you have to worry about when you work from home. So safety, and then also car safety is pretty nice. And then number 4, and this isn't really a tip for me because I'm a single guy, but a lot of people love the fact that they're able to stay at home and be there if they have small children for their formative years. So if you have a child that's a newborn up to the age of 8, that's typically when the child's becoming who they are and really molding them as they grow into the person they're going to become. I know for me and my sister, our mom was always there, and it really helped me become the man that I am today. And I know a lot of my friends that work from home really enjoy that aspect. It's also great for the flexibility. So if you have to go to an emergency doctor's appointment, pick someone up from the airport, well, you can, because essentially you can work from anywhere as long as you're able to be connected. A lot of my friends in tech that do like software engineering and stuff, they don't even just work from home. They typically just camp out at, Starbucks or local coffee houses, and they do their work right there because it puts them in the element, gets them going with the drinks, and they're around some people. They put their headphones on. It's nice. And then number 5 is going to be comfort. So I personally dress up every day for work because I feel like Having the right mindset goes along with being dressed for success. But I know a lot of people, they just roll out of bed, hop on their computer, their hair's a mess, they got on a hoodie, and they're just working. And a lot of people like that type of comfort because they don't have to go through the whole process of getting ready, especially if your job doesn't require you to be on camera. I personally think you should be on camera though, I think it's great to make an impression, especially if you're in a customer facing role, and really get out there and speak and let them know that you're a real person and they're not just talking to a machine. So those are some of my favorite perks of working from home, some really great factors there. But like I said, there is some stuff that sucks. And number one on that list is going to be human connection. So I got used to working with really large teams of people in retail. And it's great when you're able to connect with people and, communicate, or you have customers that come back on the daily and you're like, hey, how's it going? Just kind of kick it, follow up, build rapport, which is awesome. Or, you get to see the same people every single day and you start to build some friendships with those people. At one of my jobs, I stayed there for over 13 years and I started off as a part-timer and worked my way up. And the cool thing was I made so many great connections, I've attended multiple weddings for people that I worked with. Some of us even had the opportunity to travel the world together. I've had the privilege of watching some of them obtain their master's degree and walk as they got their diplomas. And I've even been invited to the hospital when one of them had just had a newborn baby, So those type of connections are really awesome because you really end up building friendships when you have that in-person connection. I often find myself getting out of the house on my lunch break just to go down to the local coffee house, just to get a breath of fresh air and be around some actual people. Because, just sitting in front of the computer all day, you're missing that. And I do work with an awesome team and we do have meetings a lot, but I still think that personal interaction is very important. I remember at my first tech job, I was on a team with about 6 different people. And I think we were all so used to being around people every day that it was kind of weird that we were just on the computer doing our outreach. So someone had created a Discord group. And basically what we would do is we log into it every morning. And as we're, making our calls and reaching out to people, we're practicing with each other. We're doing feedback, we're talking during our lunch. But we would do that for the entire 10-hour shift. And it's cool. It's just like having someone right there with you. And like I said, I love the job I have now. We do have a lot of meetings, but I feel like that human networking is very important. And that's something you definitely don't get the same effect with when you're working remotely. Number 2 is going to be a healthy lifestyle. So I told you guys I'm eating a lot better since I stopped working in the field and I'm working remotely. I get to cook all my meals from home. I get to make great choices, but it was a lot easier to go to the gym when it was just the next parking lot over versus having to pull myself out of the house and force myself to go. So one of the things that really made a difference working in retail was I used to take 20,000 steps every single day. I walked around a lot. And now, I'm kind of sitting at my computer here. I take about 2,000 to 4,000 steps, and that's basically it per day. So I got myself an automatic desk, and it kind of helps. I get to pace back and forth as I'm thinking or I'm talking, but it's not quite the same as having the gym right there and then just getting off work, getting my workout in, and then going home. So if you are working remotely, keep your health in mind and, stay motivated not to just sit at home and chill because we only get one body now, don't we? Number 3 is going to be the weather. Now, this heavily depends on where you live, but I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and if you guys know anything about the monsoon season, it gets crazy here. I've actually been pretty blessed this year that my power hasn't gone out. The biggest outage that we had was 2,000 people got affected by an internet outage, and it seemed like construction workers or something hit a line, but luckily we were only off of work from 12 to 4 p.m. and then we were back in business. But yeah, if you don't have internet and you can't connect, your job's not going to be happy about it because they need you to perform. And if you're in retail, typically you have backup power, you have an APC battery, there's easily backup internet. If you work from home, you typically don't have that advantage, and your company's not going to be happy if you're missing a lot of work because you don't have the internet. It's literally your job. to have the internet, you know? Number 4 is going to be work-life balance. So it can get easy to get caught up in work, especially if you're on the computer, because we live in a digital age. So, you know, we're always on our phones, we're on our iPads, we're on our computers. And I have a lot of side missions. Yeah, I play video games. But yeah, I have a lot of side quests. And basically, my main job is from 8 to 5 p.m. But I find myself often working on these side quests where, you know, I'm building the company's CRM, I'm working on the website on the back end, I'm maximizing our blog, and I could easily sit here from 8 a.m. to midnight. And so I have to actively pull myself away from that because, you know, I'll just keep working all day long. And it's important to have that healthy balance and really get out and socialize with your friends and family instead of just being cooped up in the house. So if you can absolutely find that good balance to your work and your personal life, cool. But I would see that as a con. So be careful of that if you do remote work. And then the next one is kind of like the weather. It doesn't really apply to everyone, but time zones suck. And so I'm in Arizona, but I would have clients that were in California, New York, Canada, Florida, and they all got different time zones. And so you got to be extra careful because you don't want to call someone, you start your day at 8 a.m., but it turns out there's a time difference and they're on the West Coast. It's 5 a.m. and you're like, hey, how's it going? And they don't want to hear from you. Or, you know, it's 5 p.m. your time and it's 8 p.m. on the East Coast and you're calling them and they're spending time with their family or they're eating dinner. That's how you piss people off. So time zones is definitely something to pay attention to. Most sales jobs have territories that you control, and typically that's in your region. So it's not always something to worry about, but some companies don't. And if they don't, and you're calling people and you're not paying attention to those time zones, well, that might be your only shot to reach them. And if you screw it up, it's not great. Overall, though, I really do enjoy having remote work. I'm personally a big fan of hybrid work roles where you work 3 days at home, 2 days in the office. If I was running a company, I would probably do Monday, Tuesday in person, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're at home, and then you have your weekend off. So that's my pros and cons list for remote work. You know, if you're really interested in making a switch, check out CourseCareers. They have more than just tech sales. They have human resources, data analytics, software engineering, and I talk about it in this one. And as all your friends are doing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like and follow, and I'll see you on the next one.